Hi, welcome for this last session here on significant figures, where we said we will be looking at examples. So significant figures, sample problem. How many significant figures are in each of the following measurements? So we will be looking at the measurements one by one, and we will be analyzing the number of figures that they have. So we'll start with A. Sorry for this. So we'll start with A. A here is 28.6 grams. So here we can see that we have three significant figures. Why? Because we have no zeros. So three significant figures. So this one has three significant figures. The reason we don't have zeros. So we can say there are no zeros. There are no zeros. So since there are no zeros, we will follow rule number one, which was saying if there are no zeros, then all the digits will be counted as being significant. Then B, 3440.3 mirrors. So because there is a point after the zero, then the zero is significant and the other digits are significant. So here we have four significant figures. We have four significant. The zero is significant. The zero is significant because it is immediately followed by a decimal point. So according to rule number 4, if it is followed by a decimal point, then it becomes significant. The next one is C. In C we have 910 mirrors. Here the zero is insignificant following rule number 4. So the zero here is insignificant. The zero is insignificant following rule number 4, that a zero that does not have a decimal at the end is insignificant. So we have two significant figures. We have two significant figures. The next one is D. For D, we have 0.04604. So here, as you can see, some of these numbers are coming before the numbers here. So following the rules, these first two zeros are insignificant. It is insignificant. Why? we said here that zeros at the end of a number to the right of the decimal here zeros appearing in the front of all non-zero digits are not significant. So that is what we mean here. So if we say that way, then those zeros become insignificant. So by rule 2, the first two zeros are insignificant. But the third zero here is significant. So how many significant figures we have? 2, 3, 4. We would have 4 significant figures. 4 significant figures. The next one is E. In E we have 0.006700 kilogram. So if you are looking at this number, there are two rules. Rule number 2 and rule number 4. We are talking about zeros here. So if the zeros have nothing following them here, if we have zeros at the end of a number but to the left of the decimal point, and if the zero has not been measured or estimated but is just a placer, it will not be significant. Like this may contain from 1 to 4 significant figures. So for the measurement given here, in this book we said it will have no value. So this will be insignificant and this will be insignificant. So we will expect to have here. So as we have said, the first ones are insignificant, but the last ones are significant. So these are significant, these are insignificant. So here we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 significant figures. So we have 5 significant figures. So we will go to find out the number of significant figures of some questions in the text. Then we will complete this unit. So following the rules, we can be able to look for significant figures for these digits here. These numbers or these zeros are in between other digits, and if they are in between other digits, then we say they are significant. And that rule is here, the rule of it being significant if it is in between 0 is rule number 1. So zeros appearing between non-zero digits are significant. That is why here all these are significant. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So number 1A is 5 significant figures. Then number 2b, we would expect that these first zeros would be valueless or insignificant, then these other two will be significant because they are in between other digits following the same rule as number 1. We can say they are significant, and if we count, we will see that we have 6 significant figures. Let me try to look at it here. So these ones are out. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 significant figures. So B is 6 significant figures. 6 significant figures. C, we have those digits or the zeros in between the non-zero numbers, and those ones are normally regarded to be significant, so we will have 1, 2, 3, 4 significant. 4 significant figures. So this we can regard it as being a 4 significant figure. Then we have 400. We have 400 ml. We have 400 ml. So in this case, it may be either significant or insignificant, and we saw that if the number is not measured, then they are insignificant values. So in this case, the significant value is just but 1. 1 significant figure. So here we have only 1. Then here, since we have a decimal after the zeros, all the zeros become significant. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 significant. So E is 5 significant. F, these first zeros are insignificant, and the last one are regarded to be significant. So we'll end up with 6 significant figures. So here we have 6 significant figures. Six significant figures. Question number 2. Let's see what question number 2 requires us to do.